All right, we are back on BUSTradio. That is biased, uninformed sports talk radio, and we're shifting into something we've never done before. We got our MLB insider since it is the playoffs. We have Landon Sukin on the line. Landon, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing over there?
Real good, real good. So, you've been watching the playoffs this year?
I have been. It's been a pretty exciting playoff year. Been a lot of surprises, a lot of good games. It's been good so far.
Yeah. And so, who do you like in the Final Four right now? Who do you think's gonna win it?
I think Detroit is they're looking unstoppable right now. They got the pitching, they got the hitting. Overall, just a good team, and I can't see the Yankees putting up much more of a fight. And I think with the extra rest they'll get, and the way the National League final there is going, it's a pretty hard-fought battle. I think Detroit's just going to ease their way into the final and take it there.
Do you recall who was favorited at the start of the season? What was Detroit in the running?
Detroit was in the running with the pickup of Prince Fielder and Miguel Cabrera there, those two power hitters there. And with Verlander, the reigning MVP and Cy Young winner, they had a pretty formidable team. They were always predicted to win the Central Division there. In the East, it's always a toss-up there. You always got the Yankees at the top. I don't know if they're favored to win as much. They don't really have the pitching that the other teams do. So it is a little bit of a surprise there. A lot of people also thought the Rangers would have made a run. They kind of teetered out there. I think that last game they had there in the wild card there just kind of took the sails out of them in that last game of the season against Oakland, where Oakland won the race to get in win the division there. That really hurt them, and I think they lost their pride there and just didn't have what it took to play. And then so those were kind of the favorites going in on the American League side. On the National League side, it's always a toss-up there. You had a lot of teams like Washington with Strasburg there, very favored to win, as well as like the old favorites like Atlanta as well, and Chicago, but Chicago didn't do anything this year. I think they finished dead last, so shows what picking favorites can do sometimes in the sport like baseball.
Yeah, totally. Who do you like in the National League Series? The Giants or the Cardinals?
I think I got to go with the Cardinals. They always seem to find a way to win. When you think you got them down, they always storm back and find a way to win. And with Chris Carpenter pitching there, like he's a good pitcher, and if you can get him going 3 games in a playoff series, it's tough to beat him. So, and I think they overall have a better team than the Giants. So I think the Cardinals will pull it out, but I do think it's going to be tough battle. I'm predicting at least 6 or 7 game series there.
Okay, what's that series at now?
It's tied 1-1, I believe, and they play tomorrow night for the next game. And the game 1 was 6-4 for the Cardinals, and then last night the Giants kind of rolled them 7-1. So it's kind of hit or miss there.
Landon, what's your ideal finish to a World Series? Is it the obvious extra innings, Game 7, or what do you like to see? What stories do you like to see?
Well, I don't mind seeing the underdog come up. Like the ideal World Series, I think would be like the top 2 pitchers for both teams, both the aces going at it, Game 7.
Oh yeah.
And I would love, like, it doesn't have to be extra innings, but I'd love that dramatic bottom of the 9th, guy coming up, the game's in his hands. Like the Joe Carter in 93 there.
Yeah, that's
when he hit that home run there in the 6th game, bottom of the 9th to win. It's kind of the ideal, I think, for every baseball fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you bet. Alrighty, so we might get you back on next week, but before you go here, what do you think the Jays got to do in the off season?
I definitely think they need to get second baseman, 1 more outfielder, and then get 2 or 3 starting pitchers.
It's a tall order.
If they really want to have a chance.
Yeah, I guess that's what you got to do in that division, but
yeah, they got to spend money if they want to compete. That's for sure.
Yeah, I suggested that before. I thought, like, did the Jays need to run right in the red for a couple of years to actually get the players and compete?
Yeah.
Well, the thing I don't understand is the ownership always says, oh, there's money, but they don't want to overspend on players. But the way the league's going, every team's overspending. And if you're not willing to overspend a bit, you're not going to make any headway.
Yeah.
What do you know about where they are as far as league average goes for team salary?
I believe they're in like the middle, closer to the top though. Like they're not like they don't have a low salary, but they don't have a high one either. Like back when in the heyday of the Jays in the late 80s, early 90s there, they would pay guys what they thought they deserved to want to come to Toronto. Now it seems like they just say, oh, this guy doesn't want to come to Toronto, so I pay him the money.
Yeah.
Instead of you offering him a little more to come to Toronto,
Yeah.
then you might be able to get these big name players in.
And why don't we have holidays still today?
I don't know if we would have been able to keep Halliday.
That was just a money issue, a numbers issue.
I don't think it was a money issue. I think if they would have had to build the team around him a little more, and I don't think at that point they were willing to do it. Like, you would have needed to bring in another big couple pitchers and make a run. They tried to do that in like 05, 06 there when they brought in Gloss and E.J. Ryan and Burnett.
Right.
But they didn't seem to do anything, and they thought he wanted to go win a championship, and he really didn't have a chance in Toronto, so I don't think there was a lot you could have done to keep him.
He went and won one. Good for him.
Yeah.
All right, Lando. Well, we're going to wrap things up here. Thanks for coming on. That was a great call, and we'll probably call you back next week for
Sounds good.
updates.
Have a good show, guys.
Thanks a lot.
See you, Lando.
Take care. Alrighty, so we got a little time left. Let's do a NFL blitz. So, stories this weekend. Packers laid into the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
That must have felt good for Aaron Rodgers. Holy. Like, what did Jim Rome said? It's like he gave the league the double bird.
Give us some context here.
Well, he got screwed in that game with the replacement refs.
Oh,
Lost to
yes.
Seattle. Everyone's saying the Packers aren't what they used to be. And Houston's this up-and-coming team, and then Aaron Rodgers goes off for 6 touchdown passes and just blows them out. Another win that I was pretty happy to see was the Giants whooped the 49ers, held them to 3 points, because the 49ers are another team who we beat in the... the Giants beat in the finals last year, or conference finals, and so they thought they were ready to knock off the Giants, but not so fast. ESPN analysts had picked, 13-1, had picked the Niners, and Tommy Coughlin had showed the boys this before the game, got them fired up. You gotta love hearing that.
Another interesting note just in that game, I heard the 49ers gave up their first rushing touchdown at home in 2 years.
Wow. It's good for Mark Bradshaw.
Yeah.
I love that guy. What else? The Patriots lost to the Seahawks. How about those dirty
that was
Seahawks?
good.
You gotta love seeing that, though.
Yeah. Outside of that, that debauchery with the replacement refs, I'm cheering for the Seahawks this year.
Yeah, rookie quarterback. The Falcons continue to roll, although they got a little scare from the Oakland Raiders. They're still undefeated.
RG3 had a huge game, which you see that one of the last plays of the game where he busted out 76-yarder. I was thinking to myself afterwards, looking at it, the play itself didn't look terrific, but then you got to realize how many quarterbacks are going to be able to do that. Probably not many with that guy's speed.
Maybe Mike Vick.
Yeah.
That, probably nobody.
Exactly.
That's another thing. Yeah, RG3. I'm gonna watch him. He's playing the Giants next week, so that'll be good. Mike Vick, people are starting to turn on him, saying he's just not coming around. He's still making turnovers, and it's not like he's just not achieving his potential. People are starting to say maybe this is his potential. What else? Sanchez watch. He actually did pretty good. They beat up on the. Who did they play now? Some crap squad. I don't know. Sean Green rushed for 3 touchdowns. Sanchez probably threw a couple. So good for him. Lives to see another day.
And the Monday Nighter.
I didn't watch it well.
The Broncos were down 24-0 going into the third.
Right.
Nothing was going right for him, and he just, I don't know, about 10 minutes into the third quarter, you could just feel like the Chargers are just gonna lose it, and they did. That was a huge comeback. I think one of the biggest comebacks in history.
Oh really?
I
can see that.
Yes, it was one of the biggest comebacks in history.
I think Peyton might hold the biggest or something like that when he was back on the Colts against the Buccaneers. But yeah, I remember when he threw that pass to Decker and he tripped, and then on this following 2 plays later, they threw in pick 6 to the Chargers, and yeah, I thought it was over, but Peyton must have just been sour and, and took it off. Well, anyway, that'll wrap up NFL talk.